Welcome back. All Day Bets. What's up, everybody? Alex Jacobs, Manny, Ruffin.
They have Juan Soto's home run line out. Over under. Ooh.
Juan Soto is a New York Met. Juan Soto is a New York Met. 15 years.
Hear ye.
$765 million. I think the Yankees can do a lot of other things with that money. It's still frustrating. There's a lot of hate. I mean, you saw the video, like that Twitter video there.
Yes.
There's a lot of hate that's going towards him there.
Hilarious.
I'm not going to be the guy that's hating, fuck you, this, that, and the other. I'm not going to be that person. I just think it's crazy that the market is being this whole marketing around this being $5 million is so annoying. Oh, the Yankees don't have pull anymore. The franchise that doesn't have pull anymore. If they didn't have pull anymore, they wouldn't have had Aaron Judge because he took less years and way less money. He could have gotten the bag from the Giants. So I disagree with that there. I just think it sucks. Generational talent. This man also just it's almost a lock for him to get on base every single time he's there. So you're paying for that. You're not paying for fielding. You're certainly not paying for base running. You're paying for the man to hit and have an insane clutch gene, but also, he walks almost half the time.
Yeah.
So he's getting on base. Good for you. And I got to tip my cap to Steve Cohen because he said weeks ago before the shit even started, as soon as the end of the season happened and Soto started talking about in those press conferences, I'm going to take it day by day and weigh my options. Cohen came out and said, I'm not losing a bidding war for Juan Soto. He certainly fucking didn't. And Mad Dog was talking about it on ESPN this morning saying on Friday, Mets flew down to talk to Soto. And after the conversation said, we're not going to get him. It's probably not going to happen. And then, Sunday morning, they're like, you know what? Because Cohen said he's not going up to 750. He's like, I'm not going further than 750. And then, lo and behold, let's put a little bit more pressure back on the Yankees. We'll add some more money. That average annual salary, 51 compared to the 47. Make some harder decisions for Soto. Just goes to show, he didn't really care about anything else but the money. And, I don't blame him. He already won.
Motherfucker got 800 M's. He got paid more than Ohtani, bro.
I know, that's insane. Do you agree with that or no?
Fuck no.
Thank you.
I don't think anybody should be paid more than Shohei Ohtani, bro. I do want to ask you your opinion about this FanDuel line that they dropped. Home run props. Juan Soto regular season home runs. Over under 34.5. Over 34.5 is plus 106. Under 34.5 is minus 136. I'm going to go look up Juan Soto's home run numbers across the years. I feel like that's a lot for Juan.
Yeah, but I feel like, I'd be stupid to be betting on a Juan Soto
under. Insane. Whole season under watching Juan Soto? No, I'm not doing that.
No, you can't.
Let me just see.
That's kind of haters would do that to root for him to do bad.
Oh, plenty of Yankees fans.
But also, when you sign that big of a contract, you need to perform, right?
I have the numbers.
Okay. What was last year? He was over that.
Last year he was 41.
Yeah.
Year before that he was 35. That's the only time he's gotten over 35.
Yeah.
He's been 34 once, and then 29 was his most after that. So last year he's cleared it.
It did help. He was hitting to the short porch too.
That's also a great point.
That does help too.
I probably would take a stab at it.
I would probably take it too. It's plus money.
Yeah, fuck it.
I have to perform. I just got the biggest contract in professional sports history.
I remember I had said it when we were talking about it before. I was like, I wanted him to stay on the Yankees. Obviously, it affects me now, but I'm not trying to be the selfish bastard. I just think it's crazy that he's taking the path to MLB The Show.
Yeah.
He's really just taking the tour around the league, and hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully it works out for him, but I think it's crazy that he got paid more than Ohtani. Shout out to Juan Soto, the 26-year-old getting paid 100 M's, $75 million in your account.
I think he, one of those things that I think he was trying to go for even when he left the Padres was whenever I sign, whenever that's going to be for my big contract to stay put somewhere, I'm going to get the most, if not the, close to the most, if not the most possible ever. And obviously he did that. Last year with the Yankees, obviously helped that immensely, and it's probably the largest reason why. But he was still just as good with the Padres in that sense too. So he was always going to get a shitload anyway. It sucks the way this unfolded, that it's that close. It really isn't that close. It's really not that $5 million. but on paper it does look 765 to 760. It's 16 years versus 15. There's the opt out. There's the signing bonus. It sucks. And I said to Manny earlier, I'm just going into this baseball season as a Yankees fan with no expectations. Go to the games, go up to the Bronx, enjoy the games, have a good time. I don't think I've ever said that ever in my entire life.
Bro. It's a fire mindset, man. It's how I watch my teams.
But
bro.
as a Yankees fan, I don't think I've ever said that. But I think you look at the Dodgers, you look at the Mets.
I mean, this is a little bit of a segue, right? But like when there's only so many, did I talk to you about this? About how there's only so many teams in certain sports that's championship or bust every single year.
Yeah.
And like this year in baseball, especially, I think it's only one. The Mets fans can say it's championship or bust for them, but I don't really think it's championship or bust. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a Yankees fan, I want to make the ALCS again. Yeah. If I get bounced in the divisional, I'm going to be mad. Like, as a Phillies fan, I want to make the World Series. I think we can beat the Dodgers. But if we make the NLCS and have a good series versus the Dodgers, we lose, I'll be disappointed, but I'll still be happy, enjoy the season, go out to the bank, exactly. You know what I mean? Type of shit like that. You can't always put too much pressure on these guys to win the chip, man. We saw it last year with the Yankees. I feel like there was no better year for y'all to win the chip, and y'all got outbidded. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tough, bro. I'm happy you're in that mindset. I feel like you're going to have a lot of fun this year. And the Yankees can still be good, bro. Figure it out.
I mean, I still think they can get the AL East.
Yeah,
it's just what happens in the playoffs.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, baseball season's spring training. We still got a long time.
Long way to go.
Just trying to put this in the back burner.
Gotta talk about
with college football, with the NFL.
No, you don't see somebody sign for 800 M's every day.
No, never,
You know
never. And still speaking in terms of millions, there was a $3 million bet on the Philadelphia Eagles from Circa. And I believe the line that they got was like minus 700 or minus 750.
Insanity.
And the payout was like 335,000, something around that range, maybe 330, something like that. Even if I had money like that,
I was gonna ask that. Would you? So you wouldn't test the waters with those bets if you had that kind of money?
I mean, it's just a dumb way to bet.
I think Trent tweeted before the guy placed the bet. He was like, if I could put a couple million on the Eagles this week to win like 400K, I would do it.
He was like, they're not losing. But like,
I'm trying to think though, like, because if I had that type of money, I don't know if I would do it in that situation.
Yeah, but watching the Eagles and the Panthers game yesterday, it's like I was saying too, watch the Eagles lose.
Yes.
Because they have to, and then we can all say that this shit's all fucking rigged. Like, I was waiting for the Panthers to win, so then we can all say it's rigged. Because what Circa was saying too, they came out and said, I saw on Twitter, they're like, we need someone that take the action. We need someone to take the Panthers. Because if the Eagles win, we're fucked. But again, like 335,000. It's not like $3 million to win $3 million.
Yeah.
They did lose, but they didn't get murdered. I mean, come on. You had so many other people losing yesterday.
They want that $3 million so they could pay out everyone else that's gonna win. Because then it's like kind of like a break even day. I'm thinking now, because bro, I've seen this a couple times where these big wagers come in on money lines. I think I'm just gonna auto fade it. Not the money line, but the spread. I think I've seen it this year with the Chiefs. I think we've seen it this year one time with the Lions. And definitely with the Eagles now, people place these big money line bets, and I'm fading that shit, bro. But if to answer the question though, if I did have that kind of money, I don't think I would do it on a minus 700. But like a week where I would probably do it, like remember when the Eagles were playing the Rams, and I was kind of nervous about the spread, but I was like, it's kind of attractive, but we could win. I would if I had $3 million at disposal, I think putting like $1 million on the minus 200 is dumb. But if you had the money to throw around at that point, I think I'd probably, if I was to play around with any lines, it'd be like minus 200, minus 300.
I would also say too, though,
bro, $3 million to get, 500K. Shout out, you had a great day.
Yeah.
But fuck, bro.
Well, I would also say like putting $1 million on like a minus 200 is way more sweaty than like a minus 700.
Absolutely.
When the Eagles were 14-point favorites at home, 8 wins in a row going into this game, I think there was just like we had to know that there was going to be some kind of weird shit going on in this game.
We've been loud about the Bryce Young train the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
They lost.
Alabama, Bryce Young is back.
They lost to the Bucks by 3 game-winning field goal. Lost to the Chiefs by 3 game-winning field goal. Lost to someone else that was decent. I forget what it was, but they lost by like 6, and then lost to us by fucking 4 or whatever it was, 6. I was a horrible bet, boss, but shout out to you for getting your 500K. I'm fading them shits from now on, bro. No, like if there's anyone in college football playoffs that's taking one of these favorites money line, I'm fading the fuck out of it.
Also, maybe I'm just stupid because, like, I don't know. I should have looked more at Panthers plus 14.
Easily.
Hindsight's 20/20.
No, it's not.
But I'm talking about the same team that went to LA against the Rams and knocked the doors off them.
Right.
And now you come back home against the Panthers. Come on, like I was a little bit scared that they could have won that game like 35-17.
No,
They blow them out.
I agree.
So I was a little bit scared of that factor, but then you think about it, it's like, I would like to know the stat on what double-digit spreads are this season, because I feel like
very profitable.
Very profitable. I feel like it's got to be, way more winning than losing.
So I took Eagles minus 12.5 on like Friday, and that was my thought process. I literally just auto took it because I was like, first of all, I knew it was pretty much a bad bet, so the Panthers were playing well. But I remember I took the lines when they're minus 13.5 because I saw a stat before we did the show that double-digit favorites were like legit almost undefeated, I think it was. So I auto took it, but like just a horrible bet. But kind of a sidetrack. Actually, no. I'm not gonna get into the birds, bro. Fuck them. Let's talk about college, bro.
Yeah, there was a huge.
There's a lot of noise on Twitter about the birds, though, and a lot of you guys are fucking delusional. It's all good, though.
Yeah. The only game that is on the slate, which we will briefly touch on, is this Army-Navy game, because
what a fucking game.
I did end up losing. Look at that. I'm gonna wait. We're gonna wait for that. We're gonna wait for that.
Oh God.
We're gonna wait for that. I did end up losing on Army because I had Tulane. That was the only college loser, well, besides Texas, that I had. Clemson with a huge win. The playoff implications were on the line for a lot of different teams, and Alabama, per Kenny McAndrews, plus 196 to not get in the playoff. We were discussing this last week, and I mean, mainly on the contrary of Alabama getting in.
Did not think Clemson was going to win that game, first and foremost. That was kind of the whole premise of the whole thing. I thought Clemson was a very fraudulent team. They did show it on the comeback.
For sure.
Did show it, but
what a first half, though.
Dabo will find a way, bro.
What a first half by Clemson.
Dabo will find a way. Something about the college football playoff. Do you think so? I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think they got it right?
I think so. I mean, it sucks because, going back to the points of what we've been seeing on social media, it's about a logo. It's about a logo, meaning this, kind of not even, not adding the Alabama Crimson Tide, but you got 3 losses.
3 bad losses too, bro.
You lost by 21 on the road to Oklahoma.
Yeah, bro.
In that sense, you probably don't deserve to get in there. But if we go back to...
I can put out my bullshit.
I mean, let's look even further to the day after. I mean, or we can go to Monday of that week when they lost to Oklahoma. Everyone's like, yep, Alabama's done.
Yeah.
Literally a week later, they're like, oh, wait, Alabama might be able to get back in. We should put him back in.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's the switch up? I'm confused.
Well, it was because no one thought, like, I didn't think the Clemson was going to be able to win the ACC.
And I don't think a lot of people had Miami losing to Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech, exactly. So my only thing, I do agree the committee got it right. With the given context they had. I have 2 major problems with 2 teams in the playoff, and that's Tennessee and Indiana. Really Indiana. And I don't want to sound like a hater. This is just my proposal for the future of the college football playoff. So essentially with the 12-team college football playoff, right? It's almost comparable to March Madness. March Madness is a way bigger pool. What I'm saying is there's so many teams in the play now, so many variables in the play now. A lot of teams with similar records, similar outlooks that are in the same pool as each other. Not a lot of these teams have a similar strength of schedule. That's like the big argument here. I think it's very easily solvable. Why is Alabama playing Mercer? I think it was Miami played Citadel. Why is Indiana playing whoever the fuck they're playing their non-conference? I was talking to my dad, and I was like, you know how college basketball does the ACC Big Ten Challenge, the SEC ACC Challenge. They have the Maui Invitational where all these top teams play each other. Like Duke's already played Kansas. Auburn's played Duke. Like we know how these teams kind of match up against each other. So when they go March Madness and choosing between the 1 seed, 2 seed, and 3 seed, where it's kind of comparable to college football playoff, they already have data points to fucking compare these teams when they play each other. There's none of that in college football unless you play in the Big Ten or SEC, which is just unfair. But even in the Big Ten, because the conference got extended, Indiana didn't have to play Penn State, didn't have to play Oregon. I don't think they played USC. Like, you know what I'm saying? Those are 3 really tough games where we could see if they're legit or not that they didn't have to play. And they're already a locked, 6 seed? Like, I just have a little bit of a problem with that. But they earned their way in. I just think with the future of the college football playoff, there's 2 things they need to do. First and foremost, they need to do reseeding the way the NFL does it, because Penn State should not have that easy of a walk to the semifinals, and then Oregon should not have to play the winner of Tennessee, Ohio State. That's just asinine. That's insane. That's not fair. And then they need to bolster up the non-conference schedule to begin the year. No one should be playing Mercer. No one should be playing Citadel. If you want to be a playoff team, Miami's non-conference schedule on top of their ACC schedule was a joke. And I think if Miami played a better non-conference schedule and got a couple wins, it could easily be in the playoff, even with their shaky ACC schedule. So I agree with what they had going on. I just want to see a stronger non-conference schedule for these teams that are in the playoff mix and reseeding. Definitely reseeding, bro, because that's going to be a big topic of discussion as we keep going forward. But I'm down to break down these lines.
Yeah, I like the point, too, because I'm kind of rooting heavily for Ohio State in the Tennessee game, just because I want to see the Oregon-Ohio State rematch and how crazy that game was.
Yeah.
And to your point, it is a little bit.
That's fucked, bro.
It's a little unfair.
Yeah, bro.
Because then you get Penn State, who's most likely beating SMU, and then traveling to Boise State. Well, not actually Boise State, but playing Boise State, and and they'll probably walk through that one. And that I feel like that's most of the conversations that we're gonna see. Hats off to Arizona State in the absolute beatdown of Iowa State. They earned it. You were last in the preseason poll.
Great job on you holding the line on that bet, by the way.
It
was never ISU.
Never was.
I'm actually so impressed that Arizona State played like that without the leading receiver.
Yeah.
That was so
impressive. That
impressive,
was the biggest thing. And
they didn't miss a fucking beat.
Nope. And I think the craziest thing, too, is what's being talked about. It was being talked about for the majority of the game, too, especially at the beginning and as the game progressed. This is a team that was picked last in the preseason poll. Last by everybody. Last. And you look at Oregon and you look at Arizona State. Both teams in new conferences won them both. I mean, I think that's something to note as well. Even though, Oregon was very good going into this. But again,
that's
you look
a tough task. That's a tough task.
That's
a tough task, bro.
In both conferences, I know Pac-12, the Big 12, yada, yada. I understand all that. But Arizona State picked last, and they get the bye. I mean, I don't think if they didn't blow them out, I think they're maybe 8, maybe 9. Yeah. I don't think they were going to end up getting the bye. I don't think it was really projected that the Big 12 was going to get a bye.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Only thing I had to say about Arizona State, too, is their path to the semifinals is very doable.
And you know what's crazy? Thank you for saying that.
Bro, Sark and them look vulnerable.
And then
do we think Sark and them is going to easily get by Clemson in them?
Well, Arizona State is in a good situation here for why we want to bring this up. But when you mention semifinal, Arizona State will await the winner of Clemson and Texas. And the odds for Arizona State to make the semifinals is plus 320 on FanDuel, and the no is minus 410. So
I think this is doable.
There's value.
I think that is doable.
From a pure standpoint of looking at value, they would have to beat Clemson or Texas, and I think if you want to compare it, what do you think the line would be?
That's what I'm saying. So go to the line for the Clemson game, because I think Clemson money line is plus 400, right?
Clemson is
plus 320.
Plus 320.
So
same shit.
I'm about to say, the odds for Arizona State to make the semifinals is the same as Clemson to win this game. Arizona State has to buy conference winner, the rank number 4. That money line is not going to be plus 320 when Arizona State plays Texas. If that does happen, I think you should just take that for value standpoint.
Like you take Clemson, or you take
no, take Arizona State.
Take Arizona State. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think just
and
for value.
What if Clemson comes out and plays the perfect first half like they did against SMU?
Right.
And what if they win? Then you got Arizona State scatterboo against Clemson, and we're on the bye.
I'm not counting out Clemson to win this game.
I'm not either.
Dabo's on some shit to end the season.
I
hate this Clemson team. I do not think they're that good, but Dabo's finding a way.
I think 11.5. We'll get into that a little bit deeper, but I guess we're already here. But
we can go over it.
I think plus 11.5 for Clemson is the bet, and
yeah,
I'd be surprised.
Go ahead.
I'd be surprised if we look maybe on action or something to see kind of the movement on where that's going to go. But I think 11.5 points. I think Clemson can keep it to a one-score game.
So I'm gonna look at Texas competitive games this year. I'm gonna say obviously the Georgia games are both competitive. They lost both of those. A&M competitive game, they won by 10. Kentucky competitive game, they covered, they won. Arkansas competitive game, they won 20-10. Vanderbilt competitive game, they won 27-24. There's some hiccups in there with Texas. I think in a one-game playoff situation, Publix on Clemson.
52% of the money on
FanDuel. It's kind of split.
On Texas, and then 58% of the bets on Clemson.
So I really honestly think Clemson is fraudulent. I've been on this since the first week when they got blown up by Georgia. Something about Dabo, man. I think it's just too many points to be giving Dabo Sweeney.
I'm with you. I think it's 11.5. I think it's too many points. And look, Texas had every right to beat Georgia.
They look bad.
Every right to win that game.
Quinn's not 100%.
Carson Beck gets knocked out.
Yes.
Before halftime.
Yes.
That's our cue. Hello. That's
Game
our
over.
cue. Game fucking. Let's put the nail in the coffin.
You're running. The running back has Kevlar vest on for his ribs. Absolutely. Backup quarterback comes in. Absolutely. I'm not sold on this Texas team. I thought I was. I love Sark. They could easily win. I don't think they're going to.
You had to have Carson Beck come out looking like Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Hanging his arm like this. You know, running out saying, I'm just going to do it. Everybody knows it's going to be a handoff.
Yeah.
Fine. I know it's tough. It's at the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
But we got to find a way to,
Yeah.
like, it sucks. It sucks that it had to end like that. And you see, that was an ugly injury to see Carson Beck have there. Like, that's just, and from the pure quarterback position, I mean, you look at pictures and how their arms go like that, and then he gets it bent the other way.
Yeah.
Sucks. It's tough for them to see, but, I mean, I guess Kirby is like Dabo in that situation. He wins those big games.
Bro, I think it was one game. It was the one game where I faded him early. It was like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, if I lose to Kirby here, I'm just gonna know I lost to Kirby here.
Yeah,
that's what that last game was, Texas Georgia. And I think Dabo's gonna watch that film and think he can't do any. I think he can do anything he thinks Kirby can. I would lean towards Clemson here earlier in the week.
Yeah, I would lean Clemson too. And then if we look, I mean, I'm kind of just bouncing around here.
Yeah, whatever.
Just the 4 that's on FanDuel as of Monday. SMU, Penn State. Penn State 8.5-point favorites. SMU's plus 260 on the money line. Almost created a crazy, unbelievable comeback. Yeah. And the true freshman with that field goal, I mean, that was just legendary. Yeah. That was unreal. I can't believe that went in. I thought there was a sure sign that game was going to overtime and it was going to be a full sweat. I did actually have Clemson money line. I also had a parlay of Clemson and Oregon.
Wow.
So there was a lot riding on Clemson there, but SMU after the first half looked dead. So props to them. I do think I'm a little nervous about the spread, like with Penn State. Like maybe it might just be a money line parlay of like Penn State. Probably throw Notre Dame in there.
Right.
Like, I'm too scared of the points with Penn State. Wholly over, though, in that Oregon game. Wholly over.
Yep.
I mean, I knew somebody, like, Dev had a teaser of Penn State spread. It was like a 6-point teaser or some where he got to, like, Penn State plus 9.5. And then he had, like, the under 58. I'm like, that was dead.
Yeah.
I mean, dead. So maybe are we looking at a possibly, like, just root for points here. Take the over 53.5.
So a couple things about this game. Like it's weird because if this game was neutral, I think for sure over with SMU speed, their offense and everything like that. I think so. Watching the game, Penn State, Oregon's speed gave Penn State a lot of problems. Especially my boy Tez was giving Penn State a lot of problems, and that Penn State defense is not a slouch at all, bro. I think SMU can match Oregon as far as speed and talent. Where the discrepancy comes with SMU for me is the trenches. There's a mismatch that Penn State has in the trenches with SMU. I do think, though, because Penn State has a kind of like besides the Ohio State game, even the Oregon game, a little bit of a slow start. Pick 6 earlier in the game, you know what I'm saying? Not looking too as sharp as they were in the second half as they were in the first half. If Penn State plays with their food, SMU's going to cover. SMU could win, but I think it's going to be hard for them to win at Beaver Stadium, bro.
I was just going to say 100,000 people,
yeah, you know
white
what I'm saying?
Out. And, let's not forget, too, weather could be in favorable factor for Penn State.
SMU ain't trying to play in that. That's like, I'm thinking about the game. I'm like, I kind of like SMU to cover, but going to Beaver in the weather where Texas kids, a Texas team, I lean SMU, but I think by the time the game comes, I might be on Penn State. Yeah, but I think 8.5 is a lot of points, bro. Another point I have to bring up too, if you like Penn State, it seemed like SMU put their all into that ACC championship game, not thinking they would make the playoffs if they lost. I mean, their kids were crying. They looked fucking dejected. It's kind of hard to think your season ended, see it didn't end, and then get yourself back up to go play. Now, at this point, a road playoff game at Beaver Stadium, as an 18, 21, 22-year-old kid, that's pretty hard to do. I'm even probably talking myself a little more into Penn State now, but I do still lean SMU. But it's going to – I wouldn't talk no one off Penn State. I wouldn't talk nobody off a Penn State teaser them down to 2.5. I think that's a great look.
I would also think, too, we're going to hear throughout the entire course of this week about the road that Penn State has to get to the semifinal.
Yeah.
So –
That's what's funny about Penn State? I feel like whenever it's set up for them to do something, They don't do it.
That's what I'm saying.
I could be jaded and just being biased and weird. But I feel like when it's like obvious they should do something and obvious that James Franklin should deliver, I don't know if they're going to deliver. The only good point is that they're going to see no top 5 teams until that point, so good for him. But
that's what I'm a little worried about.
I agree.
Of where there's going to be so much media attention around, oh my gosh, Penn State has this like cakewalk over, and again, it's playoffs, so that's a stretch to say cakewalk, but you're going to hear it all week that Penn State has a cakewalk. They beat SMU, then they go and play Boise. I just think so much of the public is going to be Penn State, Penn State, Penn State. You don't think every book out there is going to be praying for SMU?
Cover. Oh my God!
Like it would make a lot of sense that Penn State would not cover, and by the grace of who knows what, SMU wins this game. Books are all happy.
I was gonna say just to play devil's advocate on my one point, saying they might not be able to get themselves up after thinking their season was over. What about giving a team of destiny a second chance? You know what I'm saying? The Pony Express could be back. We gave the Pony Express a second chance. He thought they were dead.
I would like to see
I would tread lightly with the state spread.
I would like to see where Sharps end up going, and I just feel like Sharps are going to be on SMU with all this public stuff and all this public talk about Penn State having this road to get to the semifinal in comparison to what you were talking about earlier on who Oregon has to await.
Yeah.
With whether it's Tennessee, whether it's Ohio State, whether we get that rematch, it's a lot of public, I think, that is just going to be sitting on Penn State. Yeah. And why not, right? I mean, We just talked about the weather. We just talked about 100,000 in a whiteout.
And we can't say they looked really good versus Oregon. Like the pick six changed that game. It was really like Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl as kind of like.
Also, who's stopping Warren, bro?
No, that too.
Nobody.
That too. But like I felt like that Penn State game was literally the 2022 Eagles Super Bowl. Played an outstanding game. My quarterback played great, but the one turnover for a touchdown legit cost the game because we lost by 6. So they do look good, bro. I would tread light. I would tread light.
First time in years, I believe I saw this stat. First time in years that Notre Dame won't have I think it's 1991, I think I saw that ESPN posted. First time since 1991 that NBC won't have a home Notre Dame game. And we get Notre Dame -7.5 hosting Indiana. I'm off the Signetti train. I think Notre Dame's gonna roll.
Yeah,
I think Notre Dame's gonna roll.
So this is hard for me, man. Can I see those numbers?
60% of the money on Notre Dame, 52% of the bets on Notre Dame as of Monday on FanDuel.
So I definitely lean Notre Dame. I just like when you look at how Indiana looked when they played Michigan, and obviously that Ohio State game. It's just hard to back them, bro. I do think though. Can I look at that? What did that Indiana Ohio State game like? What did that end up being like? 'Cause I feel like I remember Indiana like kind of hanging around for a second.
Let's also remember the winner of this will play Georgia in the Sugar Bowl.
Interesting.
And you have Notre Dame right now at +192 to make the semis, which means they would beat Indiana and then are +192 to beat Georgia. Do you think that money line would be +192 against Georgia? I think it would be more.
Yeah, probably around that.
So I just think the value is not necessarily there.
Yeah.
If you're gonna just take them to make the semis, because then they got to go beat Georgia. You got to go beat Kirby.
Right.
I don't think so.
So in that Ohio State game, it's probably like the film that Notre Dame's gonna break down the most. That's what happened. Indiana came out 7-0. They shut down Ohio State for the majority of the first quarter. Then the floodgates opened. Here's where I'm at. Here's where I'm at with Indiana right now on as of Monday. I think they have, because Notre Dame is a low-key fraudulent team, bro. Like, they've been covering and they've been winning. They've been looking really good this year. But I feel like there's always that little gene in them that they could just be a fraud for 1 week and win by 3. I think Indiana has the story. I think the fact that Signetti, his core of his team is a lot of JMU guys that he's brought over. I think if there's 1 week where they could just put it all, like, people think there's frauds, they're writing them off. If there's 1 week people could, like, they could put it together and just play a close game. I'm not going to talk myself into Indiana. I think Notre Dame is actually just better, bro. I love the run game. I think Wright Leonard's a beast. I think 7.5 is the right spread. I think we could see a back to cover on 7, but I still think you'd rather have 7.5. I lean Notre Dame. I was going to talk myself into it, but I just lean Notre Dame.
I would probably end up taking Notre Dame too, 7.5. Or, I'd be okay with buying it down. I'd be curious to see if it moves or not, but I'd be kind of leaning towards maybe buy it down by that extra point, get to 6.5. You just got to win by, a touchdown extra point.
I hate that.
Yeah, but 7.5, they got to win by more. It is going to be, that's the first game that we're going to see.
I'm fleshing out a theory that you bet the team, not the number. And I'm a number guy, so I'm kind of changing my perspective. But I think if you like the team, you just take the team.
And then lastly on that slate there, December 21st, 8 p.m. This is the last game of these first playoff games. Tennessee at Ohio State. Ohio State's 7.5-point favorites at plus 100. And you have Tennessee on the money line at plus 215. Your numbers here on FanDuel are 74% of the money on Tennessee and 75% of the bets on Tennessee. That is interesting. I did not think that is what it was going to look like at the beginning of the week. Before
I get into this game, I'm gonna flip sides on the Notre Dame game.
Okay,
I'm gonna take Indiana.
Okay,
I'm gonna take Indiana. It's just talking to me. We can probably talk about that more on Thursday. But this game, why the fuck are all y'all betting Tennessee, bruh?
I am pleasantly surprised.
I want to look because I'm like a low key Josh Heupel, low key Tennessee fan. I've watched a good bit of their games this year. I haven't been impressed a lot. I'm gonna look at the schedule. I'm pulling up right now. I remember. So the Bama game, an outstanding win. Outstanding win. That was a bad line. I didn't think they're gonna win the game. I did have them to cover. Like the Oklahoma win didn't look good. 1 by 10. Oklahoma almost came back at the end. Arkansas, that loss. We've seen Arkansas be scrappy. Florida game was close. We've seen Florida be scrappy. Kentucky game was close. Like, I just don't know if I love Tennessee. I don't love the Vols. I don't know if I love Ohio State either, though. I think that's kind of what the public is saying, But at the same token,
this Ryan Day have one more in him.
Like, I want to ask a hypothetical question. How much better do you see Tennessee than Indiana?
If in a pick'em,
I'm taking Tennessee for sure.
Yeah, me too.
But like, how much? You know what I'm saying? Like, because similar situation to the Ohio State Indiana game. 3 more points. People thought Ohio State was fraudulent. Indiana could cover. Ohio State came out looking slow, and then the floodgates opened. The game opened up for Ohio State, and they ended up blowing them the fuck out. I think it could be the same for Tennessee because I kind of like the Ohio State defense a little bit. And like we saw with most of the games with Tennessee, they can get one-dimensional, bro. If that run game's not working the way it should work, they can get one-dimensional real fast, and that offense kind of fizzles out. I think if you really want to get sharp with this game, you bet like Tennessee first quarter. Because remember the Penn State game, Ohio State started slow. Remember the Indiana game, Ohio State started slow.
Very.
You could low-key take like Tennessee first quarter plus like 3.5 or something, and then try to take Ohio State full game or try to get Ohio State live. I think Ohio State will cover. I can't trust Tennessee, and I can't trust the public back at a fraudulent dog. I don't like that.
I think even the better question is, who out of these two teams, Ohio State, Tennessee, would have a better matchup against Oregon? And I don't see it being Tennessee.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I feel like it has to be Ohio State.
Yeah, it has to be.
Could be the better team here to take on number 1 Oregon. I think you got to ride with that factor. Like if you did, let's just say you did like Notre Dame, Ohio State, Penn State, those 3 money lines there at plus 143.
That is so square.
I know it is so square.
That is so square. So all right. So you drop the fish parlay, right? You drop the fish. Realistically, bro, we know how these tournaments go. Someone's getting upset.
Someone is getting upset here. It's got to be.
Can we find one?
Low key.
I think we could find 2, but can we find one? What's wrong with Clemson?
I know. I was about to say, like, and what if you just? So you did. I would take the points.
No. Okay, yeah, but I'm thinking money line wise.
I would take Clemson points.
And I think Indiana.
So if you take Clemson points and Indiana points at plus 7.5, you get plus 250.
Let me see what Notre Dame money or Indiana money line and Clemson money line is.
Indiana money line plus 225. Clemson money line plus 320 is plus 1265.
I think you gotta take a stab. $10. I'm gonna put $10 on that. I'm putting $10 on that. I just think, bro, because when I think about it, right, this shit. Obviously, it's football. It's much different. But even remember, like the first college football playoff, everyone kind of thought it'd be a favorite thing. Everyone thought Bama was gonna roll. Ohio State was the 4th seed. Cardell Jones was their fucking quarterback, and they won the Natty. And they had to be underdogs in both games versus both Alabama and versus Oregon. I think it had the way there's 12 teams in this playoff. A lot of these teams are evenly matched ranking wise. Look at it like March Madness. The final 12 teams, so we're at like the Sweet 16-ish. There's plenty of upsets in the Sweet 16, bro. Plenty of 1 seeds fall in the Sweet 16. I think you have to take a stab with the least. Like, you need to find at least one underdog you like on this card and rock with them. But I got 2 that I kind of like, honestly. I think Clemson's a stretch. But the way they're moving, the way they're looking, the way they're winning games is Dabo. And then I think Notre Dame can be on fraud watch, bro.
Well, this would be my favorite value play for this. What we touched on earlier is Arizona State to make the semifinals. They would have to plus 320. There's the value there. It would be tough.
Because we already think Texas is going to get tested by. We already think that Texas is going to get tested by Clemson. So why wouldn't they get tested by Arizona State if they win?
I agree. And then it's just the winner of Clemson and Texas. So you're betting plus 320 for them to either beat Clemson or either beat Texas. Yeah, and I wonder what those lines would be come game time. Absolutely. And that would obviously change drastically if Clemson pulls this upset off.
Yeah.
And then if you look too, just from a national championship standpoint.
Show more, but he's out of shit.
Texas and Oregon are both at plus 380. Georgia is at
fucking way.
Georgia is at plus 410. Ohio State at plus 500. Penn State at plus 550. Notre Dame at plus 850. Tennessee at plus 2,500. Indiana at plus 4,000. And you got Arizona State at 6,000. SMU at 4,500. Clemson and Boise State sitting at 6,000, 6,500. I mean,
so making a short list, right? I'm not saying these teams are going to win the national championship, but I don't think anyone, Penn State and under, for the odds is really worth it. If you're a fan of Penn State or Ohio State and you want to take a stab at 5-1, okay, I'm not mad at that at all. I like Notre Dame a lot at plus 1,000, so did the public because it's down now. I think if there was any future to take, it would have been Notre Dame plus 1,000. Now my short list, to be honest, is really like, I think you could take a stab at SMU.
I couldn't.
I think you could take a stab at Arizona State, like $10 bets.
Yeah, I could at Arizona State.
I think you could, and this is going to sound insane, but they have a bye. Why not take a stab on the Genty train? Look at that game they have versus Oregon. They can play with the big dogs. We can't. We don't really believe it yet. I still don't really believe it yet. But that Oregon game did happen, and Oregon's really fucking good. Why not put $10, $5 on Boise State if you have them in the semifinals to win one game to get to the semis? There's a little short list there. If I were to take a realistic bet, I probably would take State though plus 550. Put like an actual unit on that.
Is there value at Kirby Smart at 4-1? I feel like there is.
Yeah, there is.
Kirby Smart at 4-1. You get Indiana, Notre Dame, and then you get the winner of Boise State and either Penn State or SMU.
And you like them in that semifinal matchup versus either of those teams.
So let's just say, right? Let's hypotheticals.
Nah, actually, I like Penn State over Georgia, but it's still.
That's what I'm saying. Like if hypotheticals, Penn State gets this easy ride to the semis, like is going to be talked about all week. You get Georgia, that's going to be heavily favored to beat either Indiana or Notre Dame.
Oh my. Betting wise, Kirby Smart versus James Franklin in a semi. What are you gonna do?
I'm taking Georgia.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Let's keep it a buck.
So I'm essentially getting 4-1 Kirby Smart to get to the chip, and then they just gotta win. You're getting 4-1 to get there.
Yeah, I just hate. So
you're holding 4-1 to win the chip because they're essentially gonna get there by this logic, where Penn State would walk through. You assume that Kirby Smart gets the best of James Franklin, and then you just got to sit there and sweat out, the national championship game, which they're not going to be 4-1 to win the game.
No.
So I'm just saying, it's 4-1 to get there. Who knows who they're going to get?
I agree, and it's Kirby Smart. I just don't like that Georgia team. But I actually don't think that's actually kind of valuable, bro. If you're a Georgia fan, I'm taking a stab at that. And I'm riding my one future.
Because, look, we already had touched on it. We are very close to seeing a rematch of that Oregon Ohio State game,
and that's a big game for me. I had that Oregon to win a Natty, and the Eagles win the Super Bowl, 18 to win a grand. That cash out's at like $36 now. You know what else is at a cash out right now? That future parlay I have, the Bo Nix one with the Henderman Rookie of the Year. They're offering me double my money now too. I'm not taking either of them cash outs, but yeah, I am riding Oregon hard as fuck. So I do need Oregon to win. But after that, I would take a look at Penn State. And then I don't think that Georgia shout is bad. I just hate Georgia personally. Like me personally. Yeah. I don't think that Georgia shout is bad at all. Even
And then lastly,
$10 on ASU to have some fun.
Yeah,
I don't mind it.
$10 for 600.
I don't mind
on
it.
ASU.
I don't mind it.
I mean, that would be a fun ride.
I don't mind it at all.
And you can have some fun too in the plus 320.
If we did do a realistic one though and parlayed it.
Of what?
Like who's your favorite? I think like this is like non-biased either. Like with price and just team possibility to win the championship, I think the best future on this list right now is Penn State. You know what I'm saying? Plus 500 looks like a free road to the semifinals.
That is true. Based on the logic there, that makes sense. I hear you. So because of the road.
If we were to do a 2-teamer between the team to win the Natty and the team to win the fucking Super Bowl, what would you do?
Wow. Okay.
Because you know I have Oregon Eagles. So I'm gonna take the backseat and let you cook. But I'm just saying, what would you do if you had a $100 free bet, 2-teamer, one to win the Natty, one to win the Super Bowl? What's
$100 free bet, team to win the Natty, team to win the Super Bowl.
You go Georgia?
I would go Georgia for sure.
Oh my God.
I would. And I don't like to do that, but I would. Because I'm still mad at them because I had Texas. I had Texas to win, so I'm still mad at them. But I would have a hard time not putting in Josh Allen here. And you get Bills.
Bro, he just scored 6 touchdowns and lost.
I know.
Oh, they could win shit. That motherfucker just had the best game I've.
Can we say this now though? Like, Josh Allen is light years better than Patrick Mahomes, and that's no longer a hot take. That's no longer a hot take.
No, I disagree.
That is no longer a hot take.
I disagree because we all know, like we all low key deep down inside, it could have taken a kick off the upright and bouncing in to go in, but we all know deep down inside that Pat's not losing that game. We know deep down inside he's not losing that game.
As soon as they got the ball back, we knew they weren't losing.
You know what I'm saying? Like deep down, like that's where like the Josh Pat thing. It's funny because Josh it has legs. It has legs. I do see people saying that Josh is the golden boy now over Pat because he went from plus 110 to win the MVP to going to minus 470 after a loss. It's not a team award, so I agree with the books. But people are just getting loud about that.
I saw this picture of this graphic on social media. You're gonna hate to hear this, but it said talking about NFL Super Bowls and what possibilities could be, and it said the Super Bowl that we all want, and it had Bills Lions, and then it said the Super Bowl that we're going to get, Chiefs Eagles.
Yeah, I think Chiefs. I honestly think it's either. I think we need the Bills in the Super Bowl, to be honest, to have the most entertaining Super Bowl. The Chiefs are too flawed, bro. Watching them week to week, they're a good football team, but that's not like they're 2023 Eagles. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a good football team, but they're Bills, Eagles, Bills, Lions, bangers. I'm all the way down.
Yeah,
I'm all the way down. But I mean, plus 3,700. You have the best player in football right now. That's your $100 free bet 2-teamer.
Yep.
I don't hate it. I would still do Oregon Eagles. I would still ride that.
All right, let me just see what those values.
I have it at 18 to win a band right now. Odds are nuked, bro.
So you would get Eagles at plus 550, Oregon at plus 380. That would give you 3,000.
What would 18 get you now? Like 500?
543.
That's insane, bro. I want to look at the date I took that ticket.
Yeah, look at that date. Yeah, the one thing I do want to get on as the kind of like the last thing that we touch on here is, we got to go just touch back into this Heisman conversation. There was a lot of noise.
Oh my God.
There was a lot of noise in Gentie's game this past weekend and what he had in the first half, and the odds were insanely nuked at halftime, where Travis Hunter was minus 10,000. He's dropping again. At one point, he was like down to almost minus 1,000. We thought everything was going to change. Now he's back up. Travis Hunter to minus 4,000 and Genty to plus 1,100. There is still a lot of noise talking about all this attraction to Travis Hunter. There is a lot of conversation now, especially over social media. And I guess at this point, the media can't really touch on it that much anymore. But if you're talking from a pure social media standpoint, there are so many people that are pleading their case for Ashton Genty.
Low key, I kind of think you should put $10 on Genty to win. This is not like a systemized thing. There's no guarantees in this. We all think it's going to be Travis, but we're at the mercy of the people voting for it. And you're getting 1,100 for the best running back season we ever seen. I think Travis is going to win the Heisman. I think I'm going to put $10 on Genty to win, just in case some weird shit happens. You know what I'm saying?
For the conversations that are being spoken
way
about,
too valuable not to take him at 1,100, bro. I think
for the conversations that are being spoken about from Genty's standpoint, and this being popularity for Travis Hunter, do you think Travis Hunter deserves it? Because that's what they're all.
No, Travis the Heisman, bro. Travis the Heisman. Travis 1,000% the Heisman. I've been on that this whole year. But just from a straight value standpoint, I think you'd be a little dumb not to put a little bit of change on Genty, bro.
At plus 1,100.
Just in case some weird shit happens, bro. They have some conversations. People have some changes of hearts. We're talking about people here. Not stats, not players, not teams. People voting on an award. 10-1 for the best running back season ever?
11-1.
Fuck it, bro. Like I'm probably gonna put 10 on it. If I hit my best tonight, I'll put my extra 10 on that for sure, bro. Who cares? But yeah, it's Trav, bro. It's Trav.
And then briefly, just because we're here, because I just for me, because I need to hear this, because I'm gonna be placing something on this game. Bengals and Cowboys tonight. 5.5 point favorites for Bengals.
Who's betting on the Bengals?
Who's betting on the Cowboys?
I think people are betting on the Cowboys.
72% of the money on the Bengals and 70% of
so
the
I have
bets.
I have a prediction this line's going to be at 4.5. And if this line drops and this money's like this on the Bengals.
Can I say something too about
scary,
this, though?
Bro.
We know that the Bengals don't have defense at all.
At all.
49.5 is the over-under. I think I'm just going to sit here and root for points.
I was on it last week with the Steelers game, but the Steelers have a quarterback that I like. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Cooper bad, bro. I think it's not a bad bet. They still can't stop nobody. CeeDee Lamb.
But can Micah Parsons contain Joe Burrow? And
No. You can't. I don't think. Not by himself. No. I don't know if the Cowboys are gonna score, but I think the over is probably a good look. I kind of like Cowboys, bro. It sounds
plus 194.
Like, cause I don't like catching falling knives, bro. The Bengals are a falling knife. I did it this week with the Falcons. I took the Falcons +6 versus Mini. I mean, why would it not be the Falcons, right? Lost 2 in a row, 3 in a row. Going to play Mini. Mini's a fraudulent ass team. Need this win. The division. The Bucks are about to overtake us. We're getting 6 fucking points. How do we not just at least cover that? They're a falling knife, bro. Their season's over. They're probably gonna change quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? I don't like catching falling knives in gambling anymore. And I think the Bengals are a falling knife.
What's even crazier too, speaking from a pure MVP standpoint, if the Bengals were winning games,
it'd be Joe Burrow.
It would be a battle between Josh Allen and Joe Burrow. Saquon wouldn't even be talking about it now.
I would hope it wouldn't be a battle because Joe's playing unreal. But yes, it would be a battle. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Which sucks to hear, but
yeah.
I want to take Bengals -5.5.
I think it's ugly.
I know.
They probably win like a game-winning field goal or something, bro. How they went with the Chargers game. It's gonna be the Chargers game.
I probably just end up taking Jamar. Oh my God, Jamar Chase is -155 to score.
CeeDee Lamb is +145, bro, and they can't stop nobody.
That's a great call.
CeeDee Lamb is +145, and they can't stop nobody, bro.
I'm taking that.
Let me see what CeeDee be doing the last couple weeks. Oh, by the way, I took that 18 to win a band, 11-18 at 12:24 a.m.
Wow,
so a month ago.
18 to win a band.
Eagles gonna break my heart. It's all good.
Wow.
Eagles gonna break my heart, bro. So CeeDee Lamb, let's see.
Maybe it might be his yards. Seriously.
He hasn't scored he's only had 4 touchdowns this year. He hasn't scored in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Hasn't scored in 5 weeks. 39 yards, 67 yards, 93, 21, 47. I mean, he might be a fade, bro. I think it's worth them. I mean, fuck it, bro. CeeDee Lamb +145 score. And they can't stop nobody.
What about so his line's at 67.5.
Just doesn't feel like it's gonna hit, right?
Oh boy. Where would I lean? The CeeDee Lambs, it's now 66.5 on FanDuel.
I don't like that.
I think maybe just riding CeeDee score.
I think it's not. I don't think it's horrible. Yeah, I don't think it's horrible. I don't love it, but I don't think it's horrible.
+145, I'll take it.
Jake Ferguson's probably pretty good too, for the backup quarterback getting the end zone. I mean, the Bengals can't stop shit, bro. Yeah, I don't mind it. I do lean Cowboys though, so I guess CeeDee probably would have to score if the Cowboys do win.
Yeah.
What's Rico -110
to score?
Yeah.
-115.
Yeah, that sounds about right. He'll probably score, but I think CeeDee's right after him, and then Jake Ferguson at +230 is not a bad look, bro. And then I don't want to leak what Kenny's on, but Kenny's on some shit tonight.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, he's on some shit tonight.
All right, we will be back on Thursday for more NFL, as we'll see maybe some line movements in these college games.
There's some fire NFL games. 49ers Rams, Bills Lions, Eagles Steelers. There's a couple other Jones too. Texans Dolphins, Cincy or Cleveland versus KC.
Yeah, can Jameis Winston stop all this?
I mean, can the Kansas City Chiefs cover a fucking game? I don't think so.
The Ravens are 14.5-point favorites at MetLife, and now sitting at 8-5. This is a game. If I'm the Ravens, I'm trying to come in here and this is a statement win.
Yeah.
Win by 40.
Yeah.
Like, take all the respect and integrity out of it.
Yeah.
Murder them.
Especially the Giants lost last week, right?
Yeah, there was a
The
blocked
heartbreak.
field
Yeah,
goal,
blocked field goal,
which was
yeah.
because look, Drew Lock drove all the way down the field,
Yep.
and I'm like, if the Giants win this game, this would be the stupidest thing
Dumbest
they
thing.
could do.
Yeah, actually dumb as fuck to win.
And like on First Take this morning, they're all talking about like, well, the Giants are terrible. The Giants are so bad. I mean, this is a joke. Who wants to go there?
Yeah.
But then you're like, Damian Woody's on there saying, yeah, if I'm the Raiders, I keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
You're gonna get Shedeur Sanders. Keep doing what you're doing. Why the hell are you
Don't
not saying
apply
that
to
for the
the
Giants?
Giants. Yeah,
I mean, I don't
apply to
understand that.
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
Giants are doing the same thing. Let them do the same thing. I don't understand it. I'm okay with it. It was actually hilarious. They cut after the Eagles game was over. They cut to the last couple minutes of the Giants game, and I'm just heavily rooting for a loss. I'm like, sack him. Drew Lock, throw an interception. I've never done that as a Giants fan, but I'm like, I just keep losing.
Absolutely.
It's probably going to be Cam Ward at this point.
Probably.
And the questions that was being asked as well was like, if you're Shedeur Sanders, would you say I do not want to go to New York? Damian Woody and Shannon Sharp are like, no.
No,
I don't care about the market. I have enough of my own following. I have enough of my own brand where I'm going to be known wherever the hell I go.
I still play in New York.
I still would too.
Yeah, that's fire. I hope they don't do the whole thing. The only team I think they can say no to. Nah, I don't think they say no to anybody. I'm down to go wherever, bro, except for like the Jaguars.
Well, and that's Travis's call there.
Yeah, facts. I'm down to go anywhere, bro. Fuck it.
All right, well, we will be back on Thursday. If you did watch this episode on YouTube, make sure to drop a like, comment. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Drop those ratings. They help us a long, long way. We'll see you on Thursday. All day bets. Alex Jacobs, Manny Ruffin. Enjoy the week.
Whoa, Panthers -1.5 versus the Cowboys? Whoa, bro.